Hey everybody, Livingston here. Today we're going to dive into Captain America Brave New World. It's a spoiler review, so you've been warned. This is the fourth Captain America in this series of movies that we have currently, and to me it felt more like a finale to the storylines and arcs going on in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as well as the 2008 The Incredible Hulk. Anytime I see the name Captain America, it always brings to mind Steve Rogers.
I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know.
Not Sam Wilson, not the Falcon. To me, Sam Wilson is the Falcon, will always be the Falcon, Sam Wilson. That's my take on it. Was this a good movie? Well, let's talk about what's going for it. The best thing I think that this movie has going for it is Harrison Ford as General Thunderbolt Ross, now president-elect at the very beginning of this movie.
You're not Steve Rogers.
And his whole point is to leave a decent legacy. What's that legacy? Well, we have Celestial Island, which finally that is coming into fruition. Since Eternals came out, it's like, okay, why are we not talking about this big guy coming out of the ocean that could potentially devastate the entire world and maybe question some things about what humanity is all about and what is the meaning of life kind of thing. I mean, Eternals really brings up a lot of things where you're going, and we're not going to touch on that ever since that ever happened. We're finally touching on it. Now we know that that big-ass guy out in the middle of the ocean is made out of adamantium, which might start a war between Japan and the United States of America. But I gotta say, Harrison Ford's likeness as the Red Hulk, I really enjoyed. It really brought to mind the Green Hulk and how rageful he was back in 2012's The Avengers, which made me miss that Green Hulk all the more due to the fact that we have a Red Hulk now rampaging. But seeing Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk really brought a smile to my face, actually seeing a Hulk raging once again inside the MCU. We haven't seen Hulk do that since the 2018 film Infinity War when he went up against the likes of Thanos. Sadly, he ended up going the way of Smart in 2019's Endgame and kind of ended the rageful Hulk that we all come to love, and I hope we actually get him back at some point. Now that we have a Red Hulk in the MCU, I can't wait to see what he might bring to the table, if we're going to see him again, or if he's going to go the way of Abomination and just kind of, I don't know, slip into obscurity for a long period of time. But if they're going to do that, I don't know how long Harrison Ford's going to hold out, because last time we saw Abomination was in 2008's The Incredible Hulk, which he was brought back in Shang-Chi, and that was only for a little cameo until he popped back up in She-Hulk. And that was a good 12 years, so if we wait that long for Harrison Ford to come back as Red Hulk, Harrison Ford will be close to 94 years old. So, I mean, if he's still alive and kicking and able to play the role, go for it. But that was one of the great gems of this movie, definitely Red Hulk. Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson playing Captain America, I thought did a great job. He has charisma that goes for miles. Really enjoy seeing him play the character and moving forward finally with this story thread that started way back in Falcon and the Winter Soldier of him taking on the mantle. Or I should say it probably started in 2019 when he was given the shield by Steve Rogers, which has taken him this long to come to terms with the fact that he is now Captain America. It has finally dawned on him that he is able to take on the shield and not question the fact that he doesn't want that serum that makes everybody big and strong, because that's not what made him Captain America. That's not what made Steve Rogers Captain America. And we have finally come to that fruition, and hopefully moving forward, he just accepts that he is the big guy now with the shield. Now, Danny Ramirez as the new Falcon, I gotta say, he was just okay. I didn't really hate the character, didn't like the character. He was just a character. I think he was put in there mostly for the comic relief, and he had some things here and there that made me chuckle, but for the most part, I thought a lot of the jokes didn't land all that well. But when they took him out in the third act, I was just, okay, cool. Now that character's off to the side, and we can just kind of concentrate on what's going on with Thunderbolt Ross, as well as Captain America. Now, the big mystery character in this movie, the mystery villain, I should say, is the leader, played by Tim Blake Nelson, Samuel Stern. We haven't seen him since 2008's The Incredible Hulk, and we finally get to see that character come into reality. It's only taken 17 years for us to actually see what he was going to turn into ever since that stuff dripped into his brain and made him into basically the world's smartest man. It's just crazy that Marvel kept him in the back for so long, not bringing the character out until now. And when it came to his character, he was kind of one note, but I guess when you have somebody who's that smart and very analytical, maybe you just have to be one note. But his main drive to make General Thunderbolt Ross into a monster for the world to see definitely became a reality, and that's what he wanted. He wanted revenge since he was used by Ross for his own gain to become president of the United States. I thought the action was pretty great for the most part. The scene with the Red Hulk, as I said before, very great scene. Really made me want to see a Raging Hulk once again. And I hope we do at some point. I hope they actually have a World War Hulk. And they could be setting up potentials for that when you have She-Hulk. And he also has a son, I guess, if you watch the end of She-Hulk. But if they actually kill off his family or do something horrible, like do something to Betty Ross, to where he ends up becoming rageful again, it would be cool to see that. Or even seeing Red Hulk going up against the Green Hulk. That would be a fight to see. I wonder if we're going to see that. Let me know, comment below if you want to see a Red Hulk and a Green Hulk matchup. Also, this film finally felt like we were moving forward in the MCU. A lot of movies that have come before it just seem like one-offs in a lot of ways, setting up things, and we have a lot of stuff going on in the MCU, like the Celestials and the possibility of them having judgment upon the world at some point, which came up in the Eternals back in 2019. I think we're kind of brushing over Kang the Conqueror and just kind of forgetting about him. Maybe at some point we'll see somebody recast that role and we'll see Kang come back in some form. Who knows? Now we're diving into the possibility of a future in the MCU with how they set up Celestial Island and it having all that rare metal that everybody wants, which kind of sets up a future with the X-Men, as well as the leader basically warning everybody in a post-credit scene that something's coming, something bad's coming. And we haven't really had that since maybe 2012's The Avengers, setting up what we were going to get. And if anybody was paying attention to anything that's been happening over the last couple years with the MCU, we know that Robert Downey Jr. is coming into the fold as Doctor Doom, and he will be the big baddie in Avengers Doomsday, as well as I think him being the main antagonist in Avengers Secret Wars. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the movies leading up to those films will actually lay the foundation to what we will be getting in those films. Now, the 35 films that the MCU is now made up of, where exactly does Captain America Brave New World actually rank among them? I would actually have to say it probably ranks in the low side of things. I think it's better than Thor the Dark World. I think it's better than Iron Man 2. I think it's better than the Marvels. So I want to say it ranks fairly low, probably in the 30s at some place, but every movie that I have named, I still have good entertainment coming out of the movies, like Thor the Dark World. The more I've watched that film ever since Avenger Endgame came out in Infinity War, there's more substance to that movie. It actually has become probably more of a staple in the MCU, more so than you actually think when you first watched it. As well as Avengers Age of Ultron, which gave me that same feeling where it was just an okay movie, but as we have moved past it and we have gotten more layers onto the MCU, that movie has actually climbed the ranks. But maybe Captain America Brave New World will do the same. Who knows? I'm not exactly sure. Now, if I have to rank it between sucks and fantastic, I'm probably going to say it's somewhere in the not bad range. I was entertained. I thought the writing was just okay. But when it came to the story of it being Captain America, a Captain America story, again, Steve Rogers is Captain America. I think maybe they should have went another direction and maybe just left it as Falcon, and there was no mantle for Captain America, but they ended up going in that direction due to, I guess, maybe the comics. The comic kind of like put them on that trajectory, but I think you'll be entertained if you are wondering if you should go and watch it or not. You're not going to get like Captain America Civil War or Captain America the Winter Soldier, but you're going to definitely get an entertaining film if you go and see Captain America Brave New World. Let me know, comment below what you thought of the movie. I'd like to know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue on watching a lot of our movie commentary, movie reactions, as well as some trivia that we have on our shorts, and as well as a podcast that we're getting ready to start moving forward. So until next time, see you later.